The electric vehicle world just flipped upside down, and most people completely missed it. Tesla is back on top. BYD just had the worst quarter in years. Used EV prices have collapsed. A single charge can now take you 325 miles, and the global EV market is quietly steamrolling toward a $2.7 trillion future that nobody is talking about loudly enough. If you are not paying attention to what is happening in the EV industry right now, you are missing one of the wildest business stories on the planet. Let's start with the drama because there is a lot of it. For all of 2025, BYD was the undisputed king of electric vehicles. The Chinese giant sold 2.26 million fully electric cars, left Tesla in the dust, and made headlines worldwide. Elon Musk, the same guy who laughed at BYD on camera back in 2011, had to watch his competitor take the crown. But then 2026 arrived and everything changed in a single quarter. Tesla delivered 358,000 vehicles in Q1 2026, up 6.5% from the same period last year. BYD, a brutal 25% collapse down to just 310,000 units. The gap between them swung by 48,000 cars in 3 months. The reason is wild. China quietly introduced a 5% sales tax on EVs after years of giving buyers full exemptions. That one policy change sent Chinese consumers into a freeze, and BYD paid the price, while Tesla picked up the crown again. And it is not just about Tesla and BYD. The bigger story is what is happening to the market itself. More than 20 million electric vehicles were sold worldwide in 2025. That is more than a quarter of every single new car sold on Earth. China alone accounted for nearly half of that, with 16.5 million new energy vehicles hitting the roads, almost 48% of its entire domestic car market. Europe is surging too, with battery electric vehicles hitting a record 24% market share. In the final quarter of 2025, and EU sales jumping another 25% in January 2026. The United States set an all-time quarterly sales record of 438,000 EVs in Q3 2025, right before the federal tax credit expired, and then watched sales fall off a cliff the moment the incentive disappeared. The pattern is everywhere. Government policy can make or break this market overnight. The technology side of this story is just as explosive. The average electric vehicle sold in 2026 has a real-world range of 325 miles. The fastest models can add 100 miles of range in under 10 minutes of charging. Think about that. Less time than a coffee break, and you are back on the highway. Battery life has turned out to be far better than the skeptics predicted. Research covering over 1 billion miles of real-world driving shows that EVs retain 97% of their range after 3 years and 95% after 5 years. That 2026 model with 325 miles of range today is still a 309-mile car in 2031. The fear that batteries would fall apart quietly turned out to be almost entirely wrong. Then there is the money angle that nobody is discussing enough. The global EV market was worth nearly $1 trillion in 2025 and is on a path to hit $2.7 trillion by 2035. The aftermarket alone, battery diagnostics, software updates, charging equipment, specialized servicing, was worth $96 billion in 2024 and is headed toward $272 billion by 2030. That is an industry being built inside an industry. And used EV prices have dropped 20 to 30% from their pandemic-era peaks, which means someone can walk into 2026 and pick up a used Tesla or Chevy Equinox EV for a price that would have seemed impossible 2 years ago. The people who held off on buying are suddenly the smartest ones in the room. The companies worth watching right now are not just Tesla and BYD. BYD is expanding hard into Europe and Southeast Asia, even while its home market cools. Rivian is finally launching the more affordable R2. Volvo just dropped the EX30 compact crossover into a market hungry for budget EVs. GM unveiled a new prismatic lithium battery with 33% more energy density that could reshape the truck and SUV segment before 2028. The Chinese brands, Geely, NIO, XPeng, are quietly eating global market share, while Western media is still writing the same Tesla headlines. The bottom line is this: The EV industry is not slowing down, it is reshuffling. The easy growth phase driven by early adopters and government handouts is over. What is coming next is a brutal, competitive, innovation-driven fight for the mass market. And it is going to produce some of the most compelling stories in the history of the automobile. The only question is whether you are watching closely enough to see it happen in real time.